This is Dan York, and I'm here today with Alan Johnston. And Alan is involved with the IETF and SIP Forum and all that. And we're here to talk about the CUSS working group, creative name that it is. So Alan is the author of one of the lead drafts of that working group within the IETF. And so first, welcome to the show, Alan.
Thanks.
And tell us a bit about what CUSS is, what problem it's trying to solve.
Sure. Well, CUSS is the Call Control UUI Service for SIP working group. And UUI is user-to-user information, and it's an ISDN service that has actually found quite a lot of traction in the enterprise and also in some public networks. And the basic idea is that as you route a call through a network, you carry a small piece of information, user-to-user information, and it's used by applications. So you have a phone call happening, but at a higher level you have some application that's running, that's using that session. And UUI provides a way of transporting a small piece of information. So one example is you place a call into a contact center and you get prompted, please enter your account number, enter your PIN, that sort of thing. And then as your call gets routed, hopefully, you don't have to, each person you talk to and each place the call lands, you don't have to enter your account number each time, because this information has been collected by the IVR system and goes with it and goes with the call as it progresses.
Now, wouldn't that be nice if that actually worked? So it's been around. This type of thing has been there. Why create a working group around it?
Well, essentially, what's changed is that SIP trunking is happening, and these ISDN trunks, which are used to tie together these various components of these contact centers primarily, are being replaced with SIP trunks, and so we need to have this equivalent service in SIP. So instead of an ISDN setup message that's progressing, carrying a small piece of UUI information, we have a SIP invite which is being routed through a contact center, and we want to just carry a small piece of information for that.
Now, why couldn't I just do this with custom SIP headers?
People are doing that today. The issue with that is that it's not interoperable. You have to have multiple implementations, and in addition, it turns out this is something that people want to apply policy to. So you might want to filter out UUI. You might want to permit certain UUI to pass through your network and not pass through your network. So the ability to have a standard container for it and the ability to mark what type of UUI it is a big help for that.
I see. So, for instance, if a SIP invite were to go to leave your network, you might strip out the UUI at the edge of the network.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So the UUI basically provides a container for this type of information.
Yep.
The name's kind of confusing, being user to user, when the users actually don't ever see it. It's really application to application or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. It is all about applications using the communication path.
Interesting. So, and I guess, why bring this over from the PSTN, I guess, is one question to a certain level. I mean, couldn't we just come up with a new container, or is there enough legacy equipment that this is, what's the value in replicating the ISDN fields, I guess, or things? Yeah,
well, it's just it's basically one of the services in ISDN that really took off and has quite a bit of deployment out there. And we're not going to replace those ISDN trunks unless we can replace the same functionality, because users aren't going to go backwards in terms of what they get.
Got it. So this is part of the Machiavellian plan for SIP to take over the world, is if we can just give people more of a reason to move to SIP, we're all good.
Exactly.
Cool. So why would somebody not want to implement this?
I don't know. I can't think of any good reasons.
Okay. So what's the next step for CUSS?
We have our working group formed, and work is underway. We have a requirements draft and a mechanism draft, and we're also working on how to map it to and from ISDN. The other thing I should mention is that we also imagine that there will be some completely new SIP usages of this. So whereas today most of the usages are in ISDN, and so interworking with ISDN is the most important use case for today. We're not making the mechanism an ISDN interworking specific mechanism. We're making it a general mechanism so that applications using SIP can actually create their own UUI information tags and the like associated with it. So we're expecting that is something that could be useful in the future.
Step one might be to educate people that user to user actually means nothing. As far okay, but that's interesting though, because
it is definitely application to application. I agree that that's a better.
Well, yeah, and that's actually interesting. So you could have, I mean, right now, I know from my own work with Voxeo, we do a lot where we send information from, you know, IVR applications or other applications running on our platform to next-gen contact centers or whatever else using custom SIP headers.
Yes.
You know, and some of those are just unique to that transaction. Some of those are ones that have been standardized and other things that are there. But I guess what I'm hearing from you is that in the future, it could be something that could be put into this UUI container.
Yep.
That type of, you know, whether it's the call flow or the account number, the different pieces of information that are gathered by the IVR
Yep.
and then passed along through there.
Yep, and having a standard header makes it much easier to apply policy at the borders of networks.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what's the time frame for CUSS to do its work?
We're hoping to finish this year.
Really?
Yeah, we might achieve that too.
Wow. So where can people learn more?
At the IETF website, if you search out the CUSS, that's CUSS working group.
Have people come up with some creatively named drafts given that working group name?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of swearing going on.
Well, I have to, you know, that kind of thing is just, you know, itching to have a draft, you know, draft-IETF-CUSS-something. You know, that's perfect. All right. Well, thanks for your time, Alan, and good luck cussing away and all that. And I will look forward to seeing that.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. I've been speaking with Alan Johnston, who is the author of one of the lead drafts of the CUSS working group within the IETF. Thanks for watching.